My mother was not well at the time, and she was living in Jupiter. I convinced her to move to Miami, so she was living here, but she was sick all the time. And to keep coming from Jamaica, back and forth, back and forth. And also I'd hit some roadblocks in terms of my own career, which I won't go into because they're pretty negative, and I'd have to speak negatively about people who I've since made my peace with. But the whole thing coincided where she needed help and I needed to be here with her. So I moved here and had some contacts here. I'd been doing some curating and collecting for Miami collectors in Caribbean art. And then I met Carol Damian through my friend Mel Testro, who was then the editor and publisher of Art News. And Carol asked me to teach at FIU, and that made a huge change in my life, because there were I started in the painting department, but it was pretty crowded, and there were too many people who wanted the job and wanted to have those positions. So she said, "Come into art history, come and teach in art history." She said, "Why don't you do a course in Caribbean art history?" So I had to sit down and write a course in Caribbean art history. But because I'd been traveling all over the Caribbean, and every time I saw this astounding artwork, I'd also spent a lot of time in Cuba as part of all of my comings and goings and exhibiting and working with Caribbean artists. So I kept taking pictures. At the time it was slides. So I had this huge slide library. I didn't know why I did it, except that every time I'd see this stuff, I said, "This is a knockout. This is fantastic. Somebody needs to know about this." So I had this large slide library and sat down and wrote the historical context to go with it. And I taught that course at FIU for 8 years.